So welcome to my allotment. Today I'm going to do my July tour and show you how everything's doing at the moment. If you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. Now this is where my allotment starts. The bottom part actually isn't my allotment, although I might be taking it over soon. So this is where my allotment starts. If we start off first, I've got loads of runner beans. I've absolutely got an abundance of bloom, so once these get going I'm going to have, like, everyone's going to be getting beans off of me. I actually put a lot of my comfrey feed on this, so what was left over from last year we poured all in this bit, and I'm wondering whether that's why I've got so many bloom, because it is meant to encourage bloom. So like I say, absolute abundance of bloom here, so this is absolutely fantastic. I've been checking them for black fly regularly, and they're not doing too bad at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. I do have a short video on that if you're not sure what to do if you've got black fly. So as we move up, I've got my beautiful dahlias, and they're coming into their own now. Absolutely fantastic flowers. That's really good to encourage beneficial insects, which you can see flying around at the moment, and also absolutely fabulous for having at home for cut flowers and giving to friends and family as gifts. So I highly recommend dahlias because they bloom right up till the frost, so they're really fantastic, and they come back every year. I dig them up and then I put them back in the spring, because where I am we get quite harsh frosts here and it could kill them. So as we move up, the squashes, the courgettes, they've all come into their own as well. You know, they seem to have, like, well, more than doubled, quadrupled, or even more in size since a month ago. And I've got loads of fantastic baby courgettes and also not so baby courgettes. I've got one on there. I mean, literally a day or two ago, I looked at these and they were tiny, and now, so I have a really great recipe for a chocolate courgette cake, which is absolutely mega. Even my little flying saucer ones are doing really well, and often the little flying saucer ones I often find are a little bit late to the party, but this year, absolutely fantastic. And also I've got the squashes. So this is a spaghetti squash, and already absolutely huge on there, absolutely fantastic. And because this one's trailing and going towards the path, what I do is I just gently turn it round, because I don't want my stuff trailing onto the path. I mean, odd bits will do, you can't stop them, but what I do is I generally try and guide them into the main part of where I'm growing them, rather than them going where I don't want them. So, and absolutely loads of bloom on there, so plenty of stuff happening. Not sure, I have got some little baby ones on here. Look, there we go. So I've got a little baby one on there, I think that's sunshine. So a little baby squash on there. So I'm just having a look to see if we've got anything else. I can see often they sneak up. Like I say, you look on them and you think there's nothing, and then the next minute when you come up here, you'll have really quite sizable things. But yeah, lots of lovely bloom on there and lots of little buds. So I can see that they're doing everything I want them to do. So my bright lights chard is coming on absolutely fantastically. I haven't picked much of it just yet, and as you come up, if you see the odd weed, sometimes it's good just to pull it out. It's a really hot day, so they'll just die off, even if you did forget to pick them up. Things like that might not come out if you just pull it. It's more of a thistle, so it's better to get a little trowel and pull those out. So they're doing absolutely fantastically. Our little covered area here is doing just as well. It's doing what we want it to do. It does seem to be keeping the bulk of the white butterflies out. I'm still checking the leaves regularly to make sure. So I've got Brussels on one side, which will be quite some time, and then I've got purple sprouting on the other side. And I have actually got some sprouts there. So again, I'm going to have to really keep an eye on that, because if I leave them too long, they would go to seed, and then they would be no good. So whenever they're the right size, you've just got to snap them off, which I will do before I leave today. As we move up, the kale is absolutely awesome. I think I say this before and I can't emphasise it enough. Double net it, and then it's really protected from the white cabbage butterfly and also the just the normal white fly. So they're absolutely doing amazingly. I lifted that up only the other day, and I think I'm going to have to lift it up a little bit more because it's touching the top already. So these are meant to be dwarf kale. They don't look like it, do they? But I can't complain. Victim of my own success, they're growing so well. And my broccolis, again, the same thing. There was barely any heads showing on these, you know, a week or so ago, and now I'm going to have to harvest most of them because, again, the same thing. Once they start, when they're close to the head of the broccoli forms, it forms right at the bottom. The more it comes out, the bigger it gets, and if you leave it too long, that will go to seed. And the last thing you want is to put so much effort into growing something and then lose. If I show you as an example, like this one's really close to the bottom and it's really tightly packed. As they grow up, they fill out, and now they're all starting to almost pop there. So I'm going to take all these off today, otherwise I'll lose them. So that one's fine, that one's fine, that needs to come, and that needs to come. So you can kind of tell when they're getting ready. I'm really chuffed with these because I've grown them. They can be a little bit difficult to grow some years and a bit troublesome to form decent heads, but they've grown absolutely beautifully, so I'm so incredibly pleased. I think the trick is to keep them a little bit closer together. So like with cauliflowers, and you spread them out a little bit more, these you do keep them a little bit closer together because it's meant to help them form their heads. I can't exactly remember the science behind it. As you can see, black currants are in abundance. I don't know if you've got black currants, but black currants are the kind of thing you can't pick them gradually. It's a little bit like the man from Del Monte. When they've ripened and they're ready to take off, you've got to try and get them off within a week, because otherwise they'll just drop off and then they'll be no good. So yesterday we came up and picked 4 punnets. Today we've come up and we've picked 4 punnets. I don't think I've got quite that amount left now, but I've probably got at least another punnet full. If you've got black currants and you've never picked them before, you can't be too precious how you pick them, because otherwise you'll be here for like ages. So what you do, I take my punnet with me when I do it. I've taken quite a lot off, and the ones I've left are probably the ones that are harder to get to. So I've got a nice big bunch of black currants there. The cameraman can get there. Now if you just picked them and tried to put them in, you would lose most of them. So when I pick them, I put it underneath it like that, because they do just drop off really easily and you would waste them. So I put so it is a little bit fiddly, especially when you've got the ones on the ground. But if you do it this way, you're less likely to lose loads of your black currants on the ground or have to pick loads and loads of them up. I've done this by learning from my own mistakes. So this is a really easy way of doing it, holding it underneath, you know, and if need be, have someone with you to help you, you know, hold the branch back as you pick them and hold the little punnet underneath. And that's by far, in my opinion, the easiest way to pick black currants. Absolutely love black currants, one of my favourite things. So I'm really looking forward to making some lovely jams and gins and compots with those. So, and as we move up, we've got the apple tree. I haven't got tons of apples on here, but I have got a few coming, so they're not too bad. There we go. So we don't seem to have suffered from too many pests and aphids this year, which is fantastic. The raspberries are doing really well as well. We've had several punnetfuls off of these. I don't water them genuinely, but because we've had a particularly dry spot, I have been bringing the hose up here and watering them a little bit to fill them out. But before we go today, we shall pick some of these off. You know, I've been eating an awful lot of them fresh actually, but I have started freezing a few, and when I get enough, I will make a portion of, I'll make some jam with them probably, and probably pop them in a little bit of gin. Makes really good gifts. So something else I'm really excited about are my cooking apples. Absolutely fantastic size this year, so really lovely. Look at that big ginormous one there. How that branch stays up and doesn't fall down, I don't know. So there aren't tons and tons on here, but the ones that are on here are a decent size, so I'm really chuffed with that. As you can see, some of my artichokes have gone to seed, even though I can't eat them anymore. They are quite beautiful, I think you'll agree. To put some of those, picture of those on Instagram. I must eat more of them, I've got to say. They are my nemesis a little bit. I like the idea of them, and if someone prepared them for me, I would quaff them down, but I do struggle with preparing them a little bit. We're outside the other side of the jungle because it's got a bit crazy in there with all the blackberries. They are all starting to ripen now. Now, don't just pick them when they're black. Wait for, they need to come off easily. So if they don't come off easily, like that one's not coming off easily, unless you like them really sharp, I'll leave them on there until they're a little bit softer. When they've ripened more, they are absolutely delicious. This is a thornless variety, and as you can see, they get quite large when they fruit. Some are bigger than that, in fact. They're absolutely fantastic, but not quite ready yet. I've tried the odd ones. Let's try one there. Oh, that one's dropped off really easily. So if they come off really easily, they're ready. Same with the raspberries. You know, unless, if you're going to make jam with them, you can have a few that aren't quite as ripe. But if you're going to eat them straight away, you want them to be properly ripe. Otherwise, they are really tart. I'll put away from that one as well. Oh, that's amazing. So you can have a little snack while you're up here as well. So sometimes things don't make it all the way home, by the way. Pears are looking fantastic. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I always struggle what to do with all the pears. I mean, obviously they're too small to pick just yet. I've actually discovered some really fantastic smoothie recipes, which I've never even thought about it before. So when I get an abundance of these, I'm definitely going to be doing some smoothies with them. So as we move down, I've taken all the gooseberries off. Oh, actually, give or take, I've realised I've missed a few there. I'll take those off later, but I took all those off. So I've got absolutely tons of gooseberries in the freezer. The leeks are coming on really well. As you can see, the weeds are doing quite well as well. It's not too bad. We keep coming up here and we keep hoeing them. But you will keep getting them, and it is really important that you keep the weeds down around your leeks, otherwise they will struggle to grow. So my onions, I do need to lift them soon. I must admit, I should have probably lifted them all already. I'm actually just pulling one as I need it. So we all don't sometimes have enough hours in the day to do everything. Things that are urgent and things that are not quite so urgent. The black currants are urgent because if I don't get them off, they'll waste. The onions, you know, they can sit there a little bit longer. So I started off some more seeds a few weeks ago and they're coming on really, really well. I've got a whole row of beetroot there, some lettuce, and I've also got some spring onions, which they have germinated, but they're quite hard to see. And also I sowed some mange tous up at the end as well, and they're coming on quite lovely. With the really, really dry weather, I don't water everything regularly, but things like this, I do try and water twice a week if it doesn't rain. Everything else gets watered once a week unless we have a good downpour. But things like little seedlings and delicate things, I do water them about twice a week unless it rains. So the carrots, I sowed another load of carrots in there because the first lot didn't germinate that way. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as I would have liked. And they're coming on quite well. As you can see, I need to do a little bit of weeding. So I've got my beetroots here. Now some of these have started to swell out. I don't know if you can see. There we go, look. That one there, I can pick out. Now I don't thin my ones out. I don't thin my carrots out either, personally. What I do is when they start to swell out, I pick some baby ones. And the baby ones are the ones I eat straight away. And the ones that aren't quite so big, I leave and I let them swell out more. I've got some lettuce here. What I'm doing now is rather than, these are cut and come again lettuces, but rather than just taking a few leaves off and letting them grow back, because I've got another lot of lettuces that are going to take over from this, I'm pulling up a whole one now because these will eventually need to go because they would just bolt. So today I will pull out a whole lettuce to gradually get rid of these, and in about 2 weeks time, probably before August kicks in, I'll try and put another row of lettuce in to take over from that other lot. If I leave it too late, sometimes they struggle to come to fruition. So like I say, in a few weeks time, before the end of the month, I will put another row of cut and come again lettuces in. So I've also got some parsley here, which unfortunately the potato, that's why I've left the netting. I wouldn't normally leave the netting here, but I'm having to protect my parsley and my other row of carrots from the potatoes flopping on them. So my potatoes are really fantastic. I've dug a few of them. As you can see, they're starting to die back, which is perfectly normal. That's one of the reasons why I've not cut those back, because I know they're all starting to die back, so that those bits that are hanging over, those carrots there, will die back and then they won't be in the way. And I've got a few more squashes here. I had quite a lot of squashes left over and I completely love them, and I decided just to squeeze a few more in. The other really exciting thing is our little wildlife area. So if we move up, it's absolutely doing fantastically. I'm so excited. We're thinking of expanding on the wildlife area to bring it out a bit more next year. And like I said, when I did this, there was no real planning. I just scattered a load of seed in the area and took what has come up. And I'm really excited. There's got sunflowers here, which I really can't wait for them to flower. We've got all these lovely cornflowers here. So we've got lots and lots of stuff. I've got a few weeds in there as well. I think there's cosmos in there. So we have got to take a few of the weeds out. But I think this is absolutely fantastic. And this can only benefit all the rest of my allotment as well. And also it looks really beautiful as well. So it's really lovely to come up here and feel that we're contributing more. I mean, obviously you're contributing when you have an allotment, to put some wild flowers in for all the insects to benefit from is absolutely fantastic. Now, I do hope you've enjoyed my July tour of the allotment. If you've got any questions or queries, or you want to tell me what you're doing, please do put them in the comments.